When considering exercises and pieces of equipment, our first tool of battle here is bodyweight. The bodyweight push-up and leg exercises really are the foundational movements for everything else. They provide us the strength, balance, and coordination to build upon this movement and strength for exercises in the gym, a common piece of equipment, and all of the things that we're going to demonstrate below. With that in mind, I'm going to show you some common variations and some ways you can make the push-up and some leg exercises more interesting with body weight only to really keep the clients moving along through these first initial body weight phases. Alright, so looking at the push-up, our first, this is always the first exercise that we're going to prescribe a client. Alright, commonly what will happen is, based upon their level of proficiency, we're either going to start them out, maybe on a table, on a barbell, or on, something like a step. The key is for the client to be able to get their chest down, tap it, and come back up. Whatever the surface may be, exhibiting proper form. My hips are square. Everything is coming down together in the push-up. I'm not shrugging my shoulders. Just making sure the proper form exists. Once that's the case, or if that's not the case, the client might need to stay in this position for several phases, maybe up to 6 to 8 weeks. To keep things interesting, we can incorporate different techniques that involve holding in push-up positions. I mean, if this is an exercise that you want to do, you want to include some variation every day. But with that in mind, we want to make it a little bit more accessible, so we can do things, instead of maybe holding in an isometric push-up or performing push-ups only, we can do things like shoulder taps, followed by a half push-up. Forward reaches, okay, or walking to the side. And what this is doing is building stability in the push-up position and teaching this movement correctly while performing these exercises while maintaining this proper position, while giving the client some variety and balance to their workout. All right, once the client can come down to the floor here, we'll have them start out with floor push-up. Once they get to this level, you can start to perform things like, lateral push-ups, push-ups with a forward reach, push-ups with a forward walk, or variations with the legs, such as a marching push-up, a push-up with a knee tuck, or a Spider-Man push-up, okay, or even a push-up with a pike. The beauty of these movements is, there are 1,000 push-up variations that you can come up with by simply moving the arms and the legs. It becomes a different exercise, it becomes a new variation, and these are things that we can consistently place into our clients' program, month after month, while keeping them interested. A way to progress the push-up would simply be to put your feet elevated here on a box. And again, the same rules would apply. You can incorporate movements of the hands, movements of the legs, and finally progressing to the ultimate level, a one-legged push-up. Okay, with that, you might need to move back up to a step, but the idea is, you're progressing the difficulty while incorporating some variation. When moving on to our leg exercises, what we find to be most challenging with body weight would be single leg exercises. Once your client possesses the ability to do a simple bilateral squat, we can move into things like a bodyweight split squat. This is our first single leg progression. I'm just going to drop it down. Want to keep everything straight. Knee remains over the toe, torso. Everything remains forward, torso remains upright. To progress this, some things you could do would be to elevate the feet on the step, and incorporate movements such as reverse lunges, progressing from the reverse lunge into a forward lunge, and then eventually a walking lunge, where we're coming forward. The main thing is the client is shifting the weight onto the back of their heel. They're keeping everything straight. Same kind of cues that we're looking for in the split squat. Some things that you can do in the lunge to keep things interesting would be movement of the arms and the legs. You can do a lunge with a push, lunge with overhead reaches, driving lunges where you're twisting to the side, lunge with a reach. Again, you can include this as either an exercise over 4 weeks or different lunge variations from the platform of maybe a split squat every week to keep things interesting, to incorporate that variety, but to consistently progress the client and challenge them in new ways with each passing week or month. And that's your body weight variation.